about like 3 years ago, I'll say. I was elected by my administrator to be in the RocRestorative. I wasn't a perfect student at all. Like academic-wise, I was good. Behavior-wise, I wasn't. But I got into RocRestorative. First, I had to learn like what it was. Like Laura mentioned about suspension rates, about how kids are not dropouts or push-outs. First, everybody had to learn like what it is, what are they trying to teach, and then we got trained. I got trained 2 years ago, and I got trained the year after that, which is last year. I think stomping ground is important because it's a big platform for us to like not only teach, but to show like how we learned and if we really learned it. RocRestorative is like seeing problems in a different way, and then like, we could have restorative practices with the kids. To me, that's not only like telling them what it is, but teaching them in a way without like making them sit down and, oh, this is what restorative is. It's like more showing them what it is. I feel like it's a big platform at stomping ground with kids to show them. But yeah.
That's such a good answer. I met Jess Norquist 2 years ago. I was searching for how to get more connected with organizations in Rochester that I felt like were similarly minded towards like empowering youth and creating social justice spaces. So we went and got coffee. She told me a little bit about the program in the Rochester City School District, and RocRestorative is an opportunity for students to become advocates for their peers within the school structure. And you could probably do a better job of explaining this, yeah, but from what I understand, it's like you get kind of chosen by a teacher or some administrator, and you go to a training where you try to figure out how to hold up and raise up the voices of your peers and help them figure out how to solve conflict either between themselves or like in the classroom or in the hallways, or between like administrators and teachers and students. What's like really inspiring to me about that is that it has had a dramatic effect on the suspension rate in Rochester City School District. It works. There's also just like a huge sense of community that comes from it, where like all of the schools that are kind of partaking in RocRestorative have built a culture of students having a voice in what happens in the school and how infractions or conflict are dealt with. It's like really exciting to have RocRestorative folks here this summer. It's had a huge impact on how we meet campers where they are. We talk a lot about radical empathy at camp, and there's something really special and unique about having counselors who like have done a lot of that work in their life outside of coming to camp, who can come to camp and give me and the rest of the staff here a different perspective on how to like engage with campers. So the circle system at camp is like how we address conflict, whether it be like between individuals or between an individual and a staff or the whole camp community. I am leaning on y'all. I will often pull in RocRestorative folks to participate in some of those circles with kids, and it's been amazing to see how real that work is and how transformative some of those conversations have been for some of our campers here, just like they've been, I think, for some of the students that you probably interact with.
Growing up, there was no camp stomping ground, which I wish it was. If I had that while I was younger, I would have been a better student in a way. So yeah, I wish I had camp stomping ground when I was younger.
Yab's coming back next year too. He's gonna bring all his friends. So
Yeah.
y'all do a retreat training with RocRestorative, right? Mm-hmm. I think it would be fun to be able to offer our, like, if we can make this happen and get a real permanent home for stomping ground, the opportunities to like partner with organizations like RocRestorative to open up that space for trainings like the ones you do, where you could bring all of the Rock responders to the new stomping ground, and we could do a weekend retreat where you're kind of living at camp and learning about like how you're going to bring all the training that you do and the community that you create back to the Rochester City School District.
Some people think that camp is silly, or that it doesn't have an impact on the youth that comes here. I disagree with it. So before, like, we don't necessarily sit them in the classroom and be like, oh, this is what it is. But the way we teach it, I feel like they would take that back to their home, and they'll learn off it. Like they'll be in the same situation, and they'll think back like, oh, at camp, this is like how they approach it. Let me approach it this way. So I feel like we do have a big impact.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
Nice work, everybody.